I have to be honest, the first thing that I ever saw was an email from my managers and my agent saying, Gonzo Girl, Patricia Arquette, directorial debut, and I was like, okay, I don't even need to read further, just because I had admired her my entire life growing up, and everything she's done in Lost Highway, and The Act, and True Romance, and all the in-between films. I just thought she was one of my favorite actresses, and I thought, I don't even care how she is as a director or what I have to do in the script, but I think as a young actress to be on set with someone like that and to learn from her was going to be enough of an experience and a privilege. And then when I read the script, I was like, oh, this is like a once, not so often role that you see as like a young actress. You know, I was only like 22 or 23 when I got the role. This was 5 years ago already that I auditioned for this and that Patricia cast me. And at that time, I was just, I had zero belief that she would even cast such an unknown actress. I was like, surely she'll get Zendaya or someone huge. But luckily for me, she chose to believe in me and take a chance on me, and then I was forever indebted to her. And this character, it had my name written all over it. I just saw myself in Allie in so many ways. It's so funny because, of course, she acted in the film and she stars in the film, but I didn't have that many scenes with her, and she was also directing when she was acting because she had to control everything and oversee everything. But it's amazing because I think when you're an actor, there's nothing more than you can ask for than a director who has experience acting, who knows how difficult it is to be an actor, who knows how fragile we are. One note can shift an entire scene. It can really break us and hurt us when you're putting everything you have into a role. So Patricia has a beautiful balance of guiding you and helping you and supporting you, but also knowing when to walk away and when to let the actor figure it out on their own, like a mother in a lot of ways. I'm so excited for people to see this movie. I love this movie so much. It's one of the things I'm the most proud of in my life, and I think that it's a real coming of age story. It also, has to do with, God, there's so many people behind me. My ADD is flaring. But there's so many important topics in addiction and codependency and coming of age, but I think that people leave feeling very empowered, but it's who you make yourself after that and how you use an experience like this to grow and develop into the person you want to be. Well, I am resilient, let me tell you. I think it's hard to pat yourself on the back and say, I worked hard and I really gave it my all, but I do feel that in this film I worked as hard as I could and I left a piece of myself there and went to some painful places, and I hope that moves people.
It's kind of every writer's dream, right, to watch their work come to life, but to have it done by this group of people, particularly Patricia Arquette, Willem, Dafoe, it feels like winning the lottery, and they took such care with adapting the material, and I just couldn't be happier with the results. I think that everybody has a story like this, maybe in ways big and small, about coming of age and figuring out your boundaries, and that, maybe first job or first or second job that, you were challenged by. So I hope that they see the growth of this young woman from the time she gets there to the time she leaves. I lived in New York for a really long time, so there's so much energy here. There's a love of the arts and film, so to have it here is like a dream come true. I mean, I grew up sort of, not grew up, but when I lived here, I used to come by the festival, and so to have it here is really great.
If I'm being honest, what attracted me was Patricia Arquette and Willem Dafoe. They're just people you dream of working with. And when I got the call, I remember saying to my team, "Are you sure? Me?" It was so fun to watch her wear all the different hats, and I love working with directors who have been actors because they have a particular soft touch about it because they know how difficult it can be. And I was amazed by her the whole time. Going to a movie, sitting in the dark, even if you're with friends, you're having a collective experience, but very alone. And so I'm interested to hear what people take away from it.
She attracted me to this job, Patricia, for sure. And then also just the subject matter, I think, is fascinating. Just getting into that world, the Gonzo Hunter world. But the character, I don't know, she's a movie star. I hadn't done that before. It's fun to play someone that is a movie star, you know? Fun. I think it was just, oh, this is going to be fun. You know, I felt just really trusted by Patricia. There wasn't so much conversation until I got there, and then, you know, I think we talked about more stuff there, on set or in the days leading up to it. But it was more just a really kind of safe environment to bring whatever you had prepared and, you know, see how that worked. It was a really lovely set to be on. You know, it felt, like I said, just a really safe space, like a really lovely place as an actor to be. I felt held and warm and comfortable. Oh, there's always something to do. There's always something to see. It's alive all the time. It really is. You walk out your door and you go down the street. You don't know what you're going to see or who you're going to meet or what you're going to do. You know, there's always something going on, you know, whether it's theater, comedy, walk into a bookstore or something like that. Like, there's always something to inspire you. I love living here. I love it. Yeah.
They actually came to me originally to act in it, and there was a different director, and then she ended up falling out of it, and then they came back to me, and we made some changes. This book is based, it's called Gonzo Girl, and it's based on this time that the writer lived and worked for Hunter S. Thompson, lived with and worked for Hunter S. Thompson. And she made, it was really inspired, this book that she wrote that's fiction, but it's heavily inspired by that time. And so she wrote this book, and then I saw certain things in the book, threads that I wanted to expand on, so we changed it even again for the movie. But these themes of alcoholism and codependence, trauma, writer's block, being trapped by your own celebrity, beauty in the 90s, you know, the orbit of celebrity, all these kinds of things were interesting to me. Also, sex and drugs and rock and roll and inappropriate behavior.
I mean, there's so much going on, and meanwhile, you are balancing being a writer, director, producer, and actor. How did you balance all of these responsibilities while doing this?
You just go home and cry. You just cry when people aren't looking. You just go, I can't do it, to your friends and family. So, yeah.
You did it. You seem to have done it very well. Talk about the film's themes of mentorship and authorship.
Yeah. Well, there's mutual betrayals going on between them. She's doing what she thinks she needs to do, but she's also blurring the lines. There's a lot of betrayals and a lot of people with no boundaries, crossing over each other's boundaries, and even how we self-deceive ourselves and what we do to be loved in the world. I think it's really about growing up, and I think there is a really strong love there of very complicated people and a very complicated man who is unresolved. And if you're codependent, you know what that's like. And at the beginning of the book, there's like a little Easter egg where she's packing to go on this trip, and she puts in a book, Daughters of Alcoholics, and then she takes it and throws it out. So it's already in her patterning. This is normalized to you. You are going to bring in men into your life that have these slippery boundaries, that are charming and disturbed, and turn to substance to kind of placate themselves. This is such a beautiful, strong city that loves the arts so much. So to be here with this movie. Also, oddly enough, Willem's not here because he had committed to this project in Rome, but this is really his city. So it's nice to have him honored because this is some of his best work. And I just love his performance so much. So we're grateful to Tribeca.